so many things that are right to do. The wrong things to do for you and me today is to you go to sleep and I wake up late. That's the wrong thing to do, which we didn't do. Okay. So right and wrong is very easy to figure out once you're clear what is the goal. If you don't know what is the goal, then you'll never know what is right and wrong. That's it. It's that simple. Okay.
अभिवादन वैश्विकबालकानां कृते प्राचीनभारतीयबुद्धेः अन्वेषणम् इत्यत्र अस्माभिः सह सम्मिलितं भवन्तु यतः वयं कालातीतशिक्षाणाम् उद्घाटनं कुर्मः। अहं भवानी देसाई भवतः प्रस्तोता अस्मि। अस्याः परिवर्तनकारीयात्रायाः आरम्भं कुर्मः। Welcome to episode 4 of Philosophical Nuggets for Young Thinkers. I am thrilled to guide you through this journey of wisdom alongside Guru Pashupati ji. Join us as we explore strategies, ideas, and reflection to spark the curiosity of young minds. Thank you. Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
So, I'm so excited about the upcoming episodes, and a lot of people are appreciating this work.
That's good. I saw you got a lot of views. That's great. I think people are hungry for this knowledge burning.
Yeah. Thank you, Guru. So, with your blessing, we're gonna start the next episode.
Okay.
Episode 4, Philosophical Nuggets for Young Thinkers. What strategies do you recommend for presenting complex philosophical concepts to children in a way that sparks their curiosity?
No strategy is required because our philosophy is very simple. I'll explain it to you now only. It's so simple. When you look at Western philosophy, it's all about who am I and what are my duties and morals. This is what they think about. But in Indian philosophy, it can be explained very, very easily. You see, the whole contribution of the education system is to tell you that your highest achievement is to come first in class. That means you have to leave everybody behind and you have to be number one. This is the teaching. But the Bharatiya teaching is different. Okay, everything from Bharat is very different. Here we are saying that the biggest thing that you can do is what our ancestors did. What did they do? You can see from the cave paintings that when they went hunting, they didn't go alone. They went with a group of 100 people, which means they could see a dream that we'll catch this elephant or something. I don't know what. We'll catch this horse and then we'll ride this horse or whatever. Whenever they made a plan, they inspired everybody else to go along with them. And that is really how society starts to works even today, anywhere in the world. But still our education says that we should work alone. Why are they not letting kids work together and score marks together? So everybody has to compete against each other. Okay, so we're learning a system that is complex, but actually it's very simple. The main core of philosophy is you can't find yourself without other people, at least Indian philosophy. Now, there are many sub-philosophies in that. And there was a book written, I think, by Madhvacharya, which compared all the Indian philosophies together. And he has compared more than 18 to 20 philosophies. That is complex. That is some people in isolation thinking very deeply about what happens next. And they're thinking about their relationship with God. And there are also atheistic philosophies in India. Lots of them. Okay. So that is called Charvaka. So there is a lot of these coexisting in India, a lot of opposing views as well. Some say that the universe is one. Some say that we are different from God. And so there's Advaita, Dvaita. And there is Nyaya, which says that things should be based upon knowledge and justice. And there are many such philosophies. But in the end of the day, if you're a valuable person and you're doing something good that helps hundreds of people, you're doing the right thing because you have a purpose now. When you have a purpose, you know right and wrong. So we don't believe in morality for morality's sake. Just because it's written somewhere in an ancient book, we don't believe that. We believe that morality depends on what you want to do together. If we want to do this podcast together, then there are certain rights and wrongs. We have to be on time. We have to have proper light. We've got to have this mic working and we've got to record it. We've got to remember. We've got to edit it. We've got to publish it. There's just so many things that are right to do. The wrong things to do for you and me today is to you go to sleep and I wake up late. That's the wrong thing to do, which we didn't do. Okay. So right and wrong is very easy to figure out once you're clear what is the goal. If you don't know what is the goal, then you'll never know what is right and wrong. That's it. It's that simple. Okay. So I don't think we should complicate philosophy more than that. Out of curiosity, you can read. When you grow up, you can read. There's a lot of philosophy to read and ponder about. Our ancestors have left us this many textbooks. We can't even begin to understand the complexity of their thinking. But in the beginning, don't complicate it. Keep it easy. Ask yourself, what is the goal together? Then did what I do is right? Did what I do, was it right? And did what the other person do, was that right? We can easily ask this, can easily find the answer when we have the goal. If you don't have goal, then we can argue forever what is right and wrong. Okay. So philosophy is for us to get eyes to see whether something is right or something is wrong. That's it. If you know for forever what is right and wrong, then you'll never need complex philosophy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Does it make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. So, can you share a philosophical idea that you believe resonates particularly well with the curious nature of young?
I always tell kids one story, okay? There's there's a guy who before dying he wanted to know whether I should go to heaven or I should go to hell. And then so he asks his guru, and his guru says, come, I'll take you to both the places. But they just go to one large hall where food is being served. And in this hall, you can't bend your elbow. They tie your elbows. And then there are just two rooms. One is heaven, one is hell. And then he says, where should we go first? He says, Guru says, you first experience hell, then you can experience heaven. So he sends him to hell. And nobody can eat because their elbow is tied. How to feed yourself? Elbow straight. How do you feed yourself? How to feed yourself? So people are lifting like this, pouring the food from top, trying to catch it with their mouth. They're lifting the food up, and it's becoming a mess everywhere, and it's so disgusting, and people are suffering, and nobody's getting enough food. Although there's a lot of food, they're not able to eat. He said, this is hell. He said, yes, it feels like hell. It's terrible. I'm hungry. Can we go to heaven? He says, okay, come. So he takes him out and he takes him to the other hall. There's another hall there. And you know what these people are doing? They're feeding each other like this. Everybody's eating. They can't bend the elbow. They're feeding each other like this. So I'm feeding the person next to me. The person next to me is feeding me. And that's heaven. Everybody's happy. They're laughing and talking. And they're just delightfully happy. Okay. This is the one concept I want all children to understand. The difference between heaven and hell is whether you're selfish or whether you help others. That's it. That's all it is. Once you get this, you get it. There's no more philosophy needed. Just help others and they'll help you back. That's it. That's how we're supposed to live as human beings. If you don't learn this simple thing, then our whole life is waste.
Yeah, it might be the importance of group work or.
Yeah, always. Why do we do things alone? They tell you then they should get married and have children, and then they don't help you at all, leave you alone. And then they're struggling so much. It's so much of a financial strain for the parents. They're really struggling. They have to take loans to manage all this. Instead, we could have helped each other. It's just that simple. So those who want to live in hell, their whole life will be hell. Heaven and hell is here only, right here. Swarga and Naraka, both are here only. Depends on whether the people around you are living with love and joy and cooperation and a common goal, or they're just selfish and they're only worried about themselves.
Yeah. What should we do when people like create a conflict like this? Like if we want to do a group work and something happens, like when we need help.
That's why the purpose has to come back. No, right and wrong should be clear, right? You tell them what you're doing is not helping the purpose. So are you sure you want to be with us? Okay, so there are 4 ways to motivate people. And some of them are dirty ways. But still it's been listed. Even Brahma has only these 4 ways. Okay, sometimes he has to deal with asuras, sometimes he has to deal with horrible people. And they're called Sama, which means reason. Okay. So you should speak with reason first. You should tell people this is the reason that you should do this. This is the goal. If you don't do this and you get into some other bad feelings, then it's not going to work. We don't have space for this. It's wrong for you to feel bad here about everything that's happening. It's wrong because it's not helping us to achieve the goal, right? So why should you do wrong things? Okay. And then if they agree, then great, because they'll see it. They'll say, yeah, it's wrong, correct. I shouldn't be doing this, and they'll correct themselves. It's really that simple. If this is not working, then I would recommend Dand, which means everything has to stop. This cannot go on. Either you have to leave or that person has to leave. That's called Dand. Dand means consequence. The consequence of non-cooperation is the whole project fails. And that's how it is. But
Yeah.
you know, I think that the other 2, which is bribery, bribery is called Dan. This is what they do in corporations. Like they give you a incentive, bonus, so that you'll do your work. And some parents tell their children that, I'll if you pass in your exams, I will buy you a car or something like that, or
Yeah.
bicycle or whatever it is that they want. I'll buy you a PlayStation, or I'll buy you an iPad or whatever. It's wrong. You shouldn't motivate children to study by asking them to buy by giving them greed. That's wrong. No bribery. We shouldn't do it. And then the last way to motivate someone is Bhed, In India, it's called Sharmaji ka beta syndrome. Okay. So they'll compare you. See the person, look at the neighbor, see how well she's studying, look at you. So that's also wrong. That's called Bhed. Bhed means to discriminate. This is also motivating for some people because they'll be like, I don't want to hear these bad things about myself. I'm going to fix it. That's the wrong motivation. Because they'll start developing hatred against the neighbor's children and they don't even know them. They don't even know their character, but they already hate them. You hate Sharmaji's son because he's doing well. So these are the wrong ways to resolve conflicts. Okay, so these are the only 4 ways to resolve conflicts. There are no other ways. Even internationally, between countries, everywhere, everyone tries to use Sam. If they don't use Sam, then they'll invade the country. That's called Dand. Or they bribe. They give them money and then they make them do whatever. Or they discriminate them, which is what the British did in India, right? They pitted the Muslims against the Hindus. They started making strategies so that the Muslims and Hindus are so busy fighting that they can take all the gold from India and go. All the gold and diamonds. So that is used internationally. It's used between people. This is all we have. We have these four methods. But the two methods in that are very sleazy, the bribing and the other one. So that's really how we resolve conflicts. Okay, try to make people aware that the goal is not being achieved because of what they're doing, and if we're able to get through to them and they listen to us, so the most important thing for Psalm to work, this nobody tells you. The most important thing for Psalm to work is that um, we need to earn gratitude. We need to behave in such a way that people are grateful to us. Every day,
Yeah.
people should be sending you messages saying, I'm so grateful for what you did. You have to live your life like that, okay? So you can check your messages and see how many messages you got saying, thank you, I'm grateful. Those people are going to listen to you. They're going to listen to
Yeah.
reading from you. But if you don't have any gratitude and you haven't built any connection and you haven't done something nice for people, it can be something nice, you know. Like, for example, when I came and sat here, I found that there's already a water bottle, right? My student has taken care to keep water here. I'm grateful. So if she tells me something, I will listen. If she tells me something reasonable, I will listen because I have gratitude already. So that's what it is. You need to also express gratitude to show people that thank you very much. And you need to behave in such a way that people will give you gratitude. Even if they don't express it, if they feel it in their mind, if they really feel gratitude, then they will listen to your reason. So if you haven't done anything for them, they will not listen to your reason. That's a problem. Okay, that's why reason fails. People want obedience without giving something first. And this goes for parents as well. This goes for children as well. Usually, especially young children, all that is happening, and the parents haven't taught them that I won't do things for you till I feel grateful for you. Have you done something nice for me? Did you wash the dishes? Did you take the trash out? Did you clean your room? Did you help around the garden? Did you ask me how I'm feeling? Did you give me a glass of water when I
Hmm.
came home? These are all things that if you don't do it for your parents, but you go on expecting things from them, it's not fair because they won't feel like giving it to you. They'll give it to you grudgingly because they have no option, and that's terrible. That's done actually. They fear the consequence of not giving you whatever you want, and that's a very bad relationship to have with your parents. In fact, it should be always an exchange of gratitude. When the more gratitude we earn, we'll not have problems in our life. And that's really how it is. So there was this bird. She wanted to get married, okay? So she told she told her husband bird that uh, I will not marry you unless you have friends. You have real friends who are really grateful that you exist. I won't marry you. And he was like, what kind of a request is this? Am I not handsome? Am I not big? Am I not wonderful? Am I not hunting for the whole family? I can do all that. He said, no, I will not marry you unless you have friends. And then one day, then he said, okay, I'll make friends. So then he actually made friends with the rat. He didn't eat the rat. He told the rat, I'll be your friend because if you're not my friend, my wife will not marry me. I mean, this lady bird will not marry me. Okay. So then the rat said, yeah, sure, I'll be your friend. Okay. Then he found that the rat had many friends and they're all like, he made friends with all of them. Then he told his wife, like, look, I have rat friends. She said, okay, good. That's good. But that's only one kind of friend. And then he said, "We want me to make more friends?" And she's like, "Yes." And he's like, "Okay, okay, I'll go and make friends." So he went and made friends with um, a barking deer. Okay, a barking
Barking deer.
deer. Yeah, yeah, it makes a lot of sound. It's a very small deer. It makes a lot of sound in India. It's called barking deer. You'll see it once in a while in the southern forests of India. Okay. So the barking deer said, okay, I'll be your friend, no problem. And then he started hanging out with them, and then they did nice things for each other, and they became grateful that they exist and all that. And then he said, now can I marry you? And then she said, no. Then he said, what? Then he went and made friends with he made friends with an elephant. And then the elephant said, okay. And then he did nice things for the elephant. He ate up all the worms from the elephant's head and all the insects. And the elephant was so happy. And he also got nice food. So then finally, the lady was impressed. And she said, I will marry you. They got married. They had some nice eggs. And she was sitting on them, hatching them. And then one day he went out to hunt to find food, and he got caught in a net of a hunter. And then the hunter put the net around him and then just put him there and, left him there and said, I'll come back for him later. And then his friend, the barking deer, came there. And he saw that this guy is in, and he saw that this guy is in really bad shape. So he started barking, started making sounds. And then all the rats were really far away. But the elephant heard it, and the elephant understood. And then the elephant told the rats, you guys have sharp teeth, you can cut the net. I can't do anything even if I'm strong. So you climb on my back and I'll take you there. So the elephant took 200 rats there. And the rats cut all the net, and then the bird flew away and came back. And then he told his wife, now I understand why I should have friends. And why you didn't marry me till I had friends, because we can't bring up these eggs alone. Okay,
Yeah.
I've changed the story a bit. I don't remember the exact animals. This is what it is. We need to really understand that when we are in times of need, then we definitely need the support of other people. And if we've not lived in such a way that they are grateful for us, they will not help us. I found this out when I fell sick. When I came back from the mountains, at that time, I had a girlfriend and she got cancer. And immediately after that, she got cancer of the throat, thyroid. And immediately after that, I got type 1 diabetes, I got Hashimoto's disease, I got 13 illnesses. And it was because of our lifestyle, but I didn't know at that time because of the lifestyle. But we had no friends. Really no friends. It was only the money that I had, which got over because the treatment was costing 32,000 rupees per day for both of us. My money got over. I had to borrow money from people, but when I went to borrow money from people, I found out that nobody's grateful for me, including my own parents. When I realized this, I'm like, my God, I need to change my life. I need to start living in such a way that people are grateful to me. So then I started my first podcast. I wasn't even showing my face. I was just talking into a recorder and putting it up with an RSS feed so that everybody can reach it. And I started teaching yoga. That was my first yoga. I was really sick and I was teaching people philosophy then and yoga and things like that. That's how I learned. I learned by teaching. My guru said, if you want to learn, you teach. I said, how can I teach till I don't know something? He said, no, unless you become a teacher, you will not learn anything. When you become a teacher, you'll realize how much you don't know and then you learn. Okay. And so that time, my guru took me to the river Ganga and he said, now you swim across. Swim across the river. I said, I can't do that. I don't know. The currents are strong. I can't do all that. He said, you do 2 strokes under the water like this. And then breathe out when you're underwater. You will want air so much, you'll come up and breathe and you'll go back again. And that's what I did. When I breathed all the air out, my body wanted air so bad, to come up and breathe. Then I breathe it out. And I realized, wow, this is great. I really need to trust and just do. And when I really needed air, I got it. So he said, knowledge is like that. You have to go and commit to something. And you'll find that you don't have enough knowledge. That's when you learn fast. But if you only commit to what you already know, you'll only get what you already have. You'll not get new things. Okay, so I had learned that. So that's what I did. Even though I didn't know that much yoga, I didn't consider myself a teacher. This was years ago, okay? I didn't consider myself a teacher. But still, I started teaching. I started doing this podcast, and people were so happy with the podcast because I used to speak for half an hour every day. And they were just following. And some people would say, this has become my morning ritual. I like to listen to you talk while I wash my car. And people were listening all over the world. I hadn't heard of certain cities they were listening from there. For example, I didn't know where is El Salvador, but people were listening from there. And I didn't know so many places, people, Philippines, I didn't know where Cebu City is, but people were listening from there. And I'm like, people are listening even, I mean, those who can speak English are listening from Moscow. And I'm like, what is going on? I didn't know anything. I started teaching. And because I need to do that half an hour podcast, I started reading. Like every time you call me for a podcast, also, I prepare, you know, I don't come unprepared. Because if you ask me
Yeah.
a question that I don't know, then I'll look like an idiot. So I really prepare, even if it's your podcast, even if you're a kid. So I come here well prepared. So I started doing that. And as I started preparing, I started learning things. I got curious. I started learning more. I started learning more. I started learning more. And my guru was right. Because I was really ill, I found the value of money. Because I found the value of money, I found that it comes from other people's bank accounts. That's a question I asked myself, where does all this money come from? Other people's bank accounts. So then I realized I have to make them grateful to me. And that's when they're going to pay money. So then I said, I'm going to do a small course about yoga. And it's going to cost $500 or something like that. Not even $500. I think $250. I think $250 is what I charged. But that first month, I ended up making $10,000 because people were grateful. And I was like, oh my God, why didn't I do this my whole life? I've lived my whole life selfishly. Because school and college teaches you to be the best, be the best, be the best. So that's what I used to do. I used to compete in business. I used to compete with other people, and I set up India's #1 corporate training company. I set up India's #1 martial art company. That's what I did before I went to the mountains. And that's what I thought was great. Just be the best. And then, you know, but here I realized I just need to care more. I just need to care more. And that's about it. I just need to feel what people are going through. And even if I don't know to help them, if I care, it's like breathing out and committing myself inside the water. So now you have to breathe in because you committed yourself. And that's how I got knowledgeable. That's how I started learning so much. So even though my guru had taught me the Vedas and Upanishads, I was like, yeah, let's finish this thing. I didn't really want to understand what's in it. But luckily for me, he made me read so much that I thought, I mean, I knew where to look for the knowledge when I needed it. I knew that this knowledge is here. And I at least knew the index, where to look for the knowledge. And so I was able to find knowledge like that. And because I was able to find knowledge, I could help. Now I've helped millions of people in the last 13 years. Many of them I don't know. They've just watched my videos and they've got help. They've solved their life problems. And then they send me a note saying, thank you very much. I did this, what you said, and it solved this problem. You know? So that's how we have to live, Bhavani. We have to live
Yeah.
that kind of commitment. We have to commit to helping other people, and then we'll learn, and then we'll have knowledge. You don't have to know already to help someone. If you know nothing, that's great. That shouldn't stop you from helping, because you'll only learn when you step out of your comfort zone and you help people. And you commit to them and you say, yeah, I'm going to help you.
Try to be kind.
Yes, you got to care. That care is the commitment. It's like breathing out inside the water. And then the next gasp that you take will be lots of knowledge. And then you go back, and after some time, you become very good at this. Somebody comes to you with a problem, you dive inside, you get the knowledge, and you come back. That's all it is. So everything is knowledge. Everything is purpose and knowledge. If you have a purpose, you'll find the knowledge. And when you have the knowledge, you'll get power. Okay, these three are very important. They go together. Purpose is called Icha, knowledge is called Jnana, and Kriya is action. People wait for the knowledge to take Kriya. So my Guru flipped it around. He said, Icha, Kriya, Jnana, not Icha, Jnana, Kriya. After you get Icha, you don't go searching for knowledge. You start doing. When you start doing, you'll get knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. You do 100 times, you'll get very good at it. How much ever you read it in a book, you're not going to be able to apply it. And that's how he taught me martial arts as well. He made me fight people. He made me actually fight people. Like just random people on the street. Like go and spit on his face. Go and fight him. You know? So that's how I learned martial arts when I was a kid, when I was your age. This is what I was doing. Because I was born in a slum.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's very simple to understand. Once you get it, you get it. Then you won't go back to the weird, stupid way of doing things. Like I will get complete knowledge, and then when I feel fully confident, only then I'll take action. That's really foolish. You'll never grow. You'll only get what you've got. Everybody who's grown and become big in this world have been people who just took action and then they learned on the way.
Yes. So, how might parents and educators encourage children to explore and question philosophical concepts in their unique way?
I think they should educate themselves first, the educators and the parents. They have to start doing something. They have to commit. They have to care about the kids and commit to them and say, I'm going to teach these kids no matter what, even if I don't know how. And then they'll come up with the best way to teach them. It may not be the best way, and initially the kids may not appreciate it. But over a period of time, you'll get there. If you make everything into a system, then you can't teach human beings. You can teach robots. You can teach artificial intelligence. But human beings don't learn from systems. Human beings get regimented in systems. But they learn when they're allowed to play, when they're allowed to fail. And it's totally okay. And we should start building an atmosphere where we respect failure, okay? So the founder of the women's underwear brand called Spanx, her name is Sarah something, I forgot. But I was listening to an interview by her, and she was saying that her father expected her to fail at something every day. And he would celebrate it. And he would be very happy when she failed. So she used to feel guilty that she's not tried something new and failed. So she'd simply go, today I went for the tryouts for the baseball team and I failed. And he'll be like, that's fantastic. And then he would celebrate with her. And then, he would make her some herbal tea or something. I don't know what he would make her. But we would be so happy that she failed. She would also feel so happy that she failed. And today she's running a $1 billion brand called Spanx. How did that happen? Even she thought, I need to solve this problem when I wear underwear and when I wear a gown, it shows. I don't want it to show. How can I solve that problem? So she took leggings and she made innerwear out of that, And then it was not showing. And that's what she did. She basically took leggings, cut it, and then it became a huge international brand when she started to manufacture it. And she got the name Spanx also. She wanted it to be a little naughty, so she called it Spanx, and it just worked as a women's innerwear brand. And it's really like so many people are grateful to her for solving this problem, that they don't have to show this ugly line of their innerwear when they wear tight or fitting dresses. Okay? So she solved a big problem in the world. And because she did, she's got the gratitude of so many people, so they took money from their bank account and they put it in her bank account. And they continue to do so. Even when she's sleeping, she's making money. Okay, so that's how we need to be. We need to really care about other people. Say, and then it's okay to solve your own problems too, because a lot of other people have those problems. You have health problems, you solve them. And that's what I did. When I solved my health problems, I became a health coach. And today, India's number one, I did it again, India's number one nutrition company was founded by me.
Wow.
Yeah,
What name?
it's called Thrive. Thrive.
Oh,
Yeah. I Thrive. Now it's called I Thrive. When I founded it, it was called Thrive. It was just me, my student, and my ex-girlfriend who had cancer. We all recovered from we hadn't fully recovered from our problems, but we had seen progress. We said we shouldn't stop. There'll be a lot of other people who are suffering. So let's help them right away with what we know. So we started cleaning up people's diet and lifestyle, and they started getting better. Well, people whom doctors couldn't cure for years started getting better. And then they came to us by word of mouth. We didn't even take any advertisement. People were just coming to us. They would see my videos and they would come to us. You know, it's the
yeah.
same thing with yoga now. Now I don't care about being India's number one yoga institute. I don't care. I said that's not what I'm going to do. I'm gonna make gurus. I'm not going to be the only guru. There's going to be a million gurus like me, who are all my students, who've all got their own way to help people. And that's what I'm doing right now. And it's giving me a lot of satisfaction. So if you compare me with Sadhguru or Sri Ravi Shankar, I'm nobody. But I don't care, because the kind of students I'm producing, they're amazing. They're not really looking for, like your dad, for example. He looks at a challenge, he's like, I'm going to do it. So like that, my students have become warriors. They're like, I can face anything in my life. Because of yoga, I can face anything in my life. So they're grateful to me, which is all I want, really. I don't even need that much money now. How much money do I need, man? This dhoti which I wear, it costs 100 rupees. That's it. Maybe 200 rupees. That's all. Which is great, right? I've not only helped your dad, I've helped you, I've helped your sister Anu, I've helped your mom. I've also helped a lot of people in the community in USA, at least
Yeah.
the Kannada speaking community, because your dad's active in these societies and they're watching our podcast. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Even my friends also like from
Your friends are watching the podcast?
yeah.
Wow.
Like
That's
even
great.
my friends' parents are also watching it. So
Isn't it amazing? Both of us are sitting here just having a conversation and we help so many people. Isn't that great? So that's
yeah.
that's what we need to do. And you started young, so you're very lucky.
Yeah, Guru. It's all your blessings.
My blessings always with you.
Thank you, Guru. Yeah. So are there any creative projects or activities that can help children express their understanding of philosophical ideas?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's called stories. It's called storytelling. And what can we learn from each of the stories? You can even write your own stories. And this is what kids should be doing. And then if you want to express it, you could turn it into a storybook, or you could turn it into a video, or you could make it into a game, or you could do anything. You can even invent games which help you to learn to cooperate with a single goal. I think when we were kids, we used to play, and that saved us from school. When we used to play, then, for example, let's say we're playing hockey or cricket or something like that. We'd make teams, and then we'd have to work in teams. The only lessons that I used to enjoy in school were the sports, because we didn't have to work alone. We had to work together. And so there's sports, there's so many other ways in which you can learn philosophy rather than read it from a book. I think it's by doing that children have to learn. So get good at something, but don't get good at something alone. Don't become just a painter, become a mural artist. Then you'll need 10 people to paint a mural. To become a painter, it's just you and your iPad. So that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. Design it by all means, but go and ask someone and say, can we transform? Can we put this picture on your wall? Do you think it'll look good? And if they say yes, then they might even pay for the paint. You go and do it.
Yeah.
Paint up your neighborhood, make it look like a welcoming place with beautiful paintings. That's just an example. Okay, you can do it with food. If somebody knows to make cakes, isn't that great?
Yes.
Every Sunday you could make cakes, give it out in church or wherever people gather, give it out and tell them you can pay what you want,
Yes.
and then they'll pay, and then you can use that money to make more cakes. I used to give cakes to the police station. I stopped doing it now, but I just thought that cops work so hard that I should give them cakes. And guess what? When bad things happened to me, the lady sub-inspector, she was so responsive. When there was a robbery in my apartment, and including my house they had stolen things. So
Yeah.
I went straight to the inspector and she said, come, what? How come you come today without a cake? She's asking me. I said, today I've come with a problem. And she said, whatever problem you have, I'll solve it. Tell me. I told her what happened. They caught the guy within 2 days. I mean, it was also a group effort. There were 4 or 5 guys who did this. When we had gone for a sports day, and this was near our apartment, and then they realized, and it was people working for us only, and they knew that they can steal things now. So whoever had the keys, they stole, and they got caught. It was really stupid. But the thing is that the cops wouldn't have responded so well if I hadn't been giving them cakes. I just said, you guys work so hard. So every Friday I would just go to the Lakshmi temple and then buy some cakes for them, like cupcakes, give it to them,
Yeah.
and they'd be so happy. And I say, I really appreciate what you're doing. I don't want anything from you guys. I just really appreciate what you're doing. People don't do these little gestures anymore, right? So that's why we've become a selfish society. It's very important. Community is the most important thing. If we don't build community, we are like that bird. The bird made friends. And so when he got in trouble, he got out. You have to make friends before you get in trouble, not while you're in trouble. That's what I realized. When I was in trouble, I tried making friends with everyone. It didn't work. All the people I knew from childhood, they were like, no, you're such an egoistic person. I don't want to give you money. Is what they thought. They didn't say it, but I could see it in their face. I was like, oh my God, no one's helping me. I've lived my life in a very bad way, is what I realized. And I changed the way I lived my life from that day onwards.
Yeah. In your interactions with kids, have you ever found certain philosophical concepts that provoke more discussion and curiosity than others?
Yeah. Kids are most worried about how to do it right now. I tell them that's the last thing you need to know. You don't need to know that. You just need someone smart enough on your team who can figure it out. I'm not the smartest on my team, really, even now. I'm not. I got smarter people than me on my team. And that's why everything's going smoothly. Without advertisements, we got up my YouTube channel from 2,000 subscribers to now it's crossed 53K or 54K yesterday, I think. And
Wow.
yeah, that's because I'm only focused on YouTube. I don't really care about Instagram, but Instagram also increased. I had also some 2,000 followers there, and it became, for years I had 2,000 followers. Because of the work of my team, it became 157K, 156K yesterday. So it's just that now the inquiries are so much for my program. There are 100 inquiries that we haven't been able to answer still. And now we are trying to get 2 more people on the team so we can answer that. Because people are asking, how can I learn yoga? And I don't have enough people to give them the right answers. I can't answer everyone. So after some time, it's not just you. I mean, yes, initially, the only job you have to do is like get people grateful to you so that they help you. And then you come up with the vision And then everybody will jump onto the vision if it makes sense to them. So that's how I started all my companies. I got certain people excited. Like even when I was a kid, I started a company. Do you know? I started selling inverters to people. And I recruited other kids because I had a stammering issue and they're all smarter than me.
Yes.
So I couldn't even talk, man. But they were grateful to me because I used to do nice things for them. Some of them I can't mention here because, uh, anyway, I can't even mention because. But I did a lot for those kids. I took care of them. So then they took care of me. And soon we were making more money than our parents by the time I was 13. So it's not difficult, you know, you don't need to know how. This is what I want to tell kids. You don't need to know how. Somebody in your team will know how. They'll figure it out. If you don't know, it doesn't matter. Whoever knows will figure it out. And then all you need to do is get together and do it. And that's what Walt Disney used to do. Did you know that? He didn't know how to make Walt Disney. He had a big board and he said, everybody can put their opinion here. And even the janitors would come and write what they thought Mickey Mouse should do next. Because he didn't know what Mickey Mouse should do next, but he kept coming around with cartoons one after the other, and then something else, and then something else, and that company's still there. They're still making movies after like 100 years. Not 100 years, but maybe less. I don't know, but it's a long time. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Steve Jobs. He was not the smartest guy. He didn't even know what. He didn't even know engineering. He didn't know anything. He didn't know computer engineering. You think Elon Musk knows about rockets? No, not much. He's not a rocket scientist. It's a very difficult subject. He's a software guy. Why is he making rockets and cars? What does he know about cars? Now he might know something, but when he started, did he know? No. What did Richard Branson know about airlines? He started Virgin Airlines. He called his company Virgin because he felt we don't know anything. Like new in this world. So that's
Yeah.
that's the one thing you need to understand as kids that you don't need to know how. It'll come somehow when you have the commitment. It's just like breathe out in the water. You will have to come up to breathe in. If somebody wants to learn how to swim, tell them to just float on the water, breathe out. They'll know how to breathe. The scariest thing for people is being out of breath under the water and dying. So you should practice that. Just go there. And then you'll be like, no, I have to come back out. I need to live my life. And you'll come back out and you'll start breathing. You know, so many people are
Yeah.
scared of swimming because they're scared of dying. But if
I learn. Yeah,
Ah,
I go to swim classes, and when I do the black back floating, I get so scared. Like
yeah,
I don't know why, but I can just do that.
you can always breathe. You know, one of my wrestling teachers used to tell me, don't be scared. There's always a way out. And I said, really? He said, yeah, you just don't know how. You just will figure it out when your neck's being squeezed. You don't want to die. You'll figure it out. So he didn't teach me too many things. I said, just get in there and start fighting and then you learn, you know? That's really
Yeah.
what kids need to do. And they can learn it through swimming. They can learn it through wrestling. They can learn it through many things where they don't know what to do, but they learn it. We should never make kids feel like they can't learn it. So we should never use language like you're stupid or you can't do this or anything like that. We should always encourage kids. That's what I believe. And I always do that. I always encourage kids. They can do anything.
Helped me a lot, like the positive mindset.
Yeah. I don't see how a negative mindset has helped a human being in their whole life. It just doesn't work. Having a negative mindset is foolish. You shouldn't. We just have to
Yeah.
feel full of possibilities. We just have to feel that, yeah, it's okay. Even if I don't know how, even if I don't have resources, I'll be able to do it. And then you get in there and try. It's like you commit yourself. If people learn to commit themselves, they can do miracles.
Yeah. So How do you balance introducing deep philosophical ideas with ensuring that children feel empowered and not overwhelmed?
Yeah, I mean, you should let the children learn the philosophy themselves by telling them some simple stuff like I told you, and then let them do things. And they won't feel overwhelmed. Because when a child is overwhelmed, all you need to tell them is take a break, relax, let's get let's get back to this tomorrow, let's just have fun today. That's all I need to say. So when you catch a child being overwhelmed, just take the pressure off. As an adult, we can do that. We can take the pressure off kids. Then, yeah, it's okay if you fail your exam, don't worry. And then let's just go to the park or whatever. And they'll chill out, and when they're walking in the park, they'll think, no, I want to fight this. And they're like, okay, great, let's go back and fight. Never overwhelm kids. Let them take rest, because you can't keep the machine running all the time. You can't expect kids to have discipline like adults. After some time, they'll want to be kids. They'll want to just do stupid things for no reason. And it's okay, it's beautiful. Why should we stop them? Kids are not going to be productive like adults all year round. That's stupid to expect. We should allow kids to play and do things that are not productive as well.
Yeah. I should allow my sister to do stuff.
Yeah, you should totally allow her to do goofy things that have no use, because that's
It
when
happens
you
a lot
explain.
with siblings. Yeah, it happens a lot with siblings. Like most of my friends have a younger sibling or an elder sibling or whatever. Like
Uh,
most of them have a younger sibling, and then they're like, I don't like my brother or my sister, bro. They're so annoying. They just do some silly things that annoy me a lot.
which is what you did to your parents when you were their age. That's what you should remember.
Yeah.
Kids can be annoying only if you don't give them a break. If you want them to work all the time, it doesn't work. Give them
Yeah.
50% play, 50% work, then they'll, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, they say, which is true.
Yeah. And I do it to my sister too sometimes. Like, yeah, why are you just annoying me doing some silly things right now? It's not, it's a serious,
Do
like,
some silly
you're not
things back to her
doing
and just
stuff.
relax. That's what you
Yeah.
should do. Take the
Yeah.
pressure off, Learn to take the pressure off. There isn't any pressure. You can do whatever you want, and you have to take rest. You can't do everything in one day. You need to play as well. You spend 2 hours working, you need 2 hours playing to recover from the working. And then you'll feel that I need to recover from the playing by working. And then you'll work again. But otherwise, you won't have the mood to work again. You feel like this is such a chore. I don't want to do this chore.
Yeah. Like, it happens when my parents tell me to do, like, my mom tell me to do some chores, and I feel like, that's so hard. I can't do that. And then, like, whatever my mom makes me do it, and then I feel like, oh, it was so easy. Why did I, like, just annoy her that I'm not gonna do it? Well, like, yeah.
Yeah. You shouldn't become passive. If you become passive and you're not active, you need to have a good balance between being passive and being active. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be lazing around the whole day. You do a little work and then earn that lazing around. I also laze around. I do a lot of lazing around. I go to the river Kaveri and just lie down on the river. I float on my back for 1 hour and enjoy
Yeah.
that. And I think that's a very important part of me being productive. Me playing around is as important as me being productive. I love driving, playing my own music. We have our own band. So I play my own music. I go to the river with my whole team. We do a little bit of work, we do some shooting, and then we just all go swimming. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
It's
I've got friends to play with even at the age of 50. But people don't have this. They don't have this joy. They become so
Yeah.
serious as adults. Never become serious. Never stop being a child, really.
What I think is like being goofy kind of makes the work interactive or like it's just so fun. No serious things. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's a joker on my team. If you're coming up with something exciting, everybody's interested.
Yeah.
And
I just think
you
of
should
it.
try that. You should try to make something exciting. What can excite all these kids? What can we all do together that's going to be so much fun? When you start thinking like that, you'll come up with ideas of things you can do together. And then you invite them. If they reject you, they reject you. So what?
Yeah.
You should celebrate that I failed. I need to come up with a better idea. And then you come up with a better idea.
Yeah.
Someone's got to take the initiative. Everyone wants to play, but then somebody's got to say, hey, let's play.
Yeah. And like someone's gonna open up stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about it. You're going to be doing some amazing things very soon. I'm sure about it.
Thank you, Guru. Yeah. So, can you recommend any age-appropriate books or resources that introduce children to basic philosophical concepts inspired by ancient Indian wisdom?
I I particularly like this set of stories called Panchatantra. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, we used to read that in school.
You used to? Okay.
Yeah.
Because those are really nice to explain philosophical concepts. In fact, this bird story that I told you is from there.
Mhm. Yeah.
That helped me to understand a lot of things via stories. I think philosophy is only understood through stories. You can't go on talking about things in a dry manner, then it doesn't get through. But when you make it juicy with a story, then you can make people understand. Which is what everybody did, right? When they wrote the Bible, they made stories. They called them parables. It's through the parables that they taught. And we made Puranas. Every chapter is a parable. So that's how ancient people used to teach philosophy through stories. Now, modern people are teaching philosophy in a very dry way. Nobody wants to learn.
Yeah. No one's interested.
Yeah.
Like when I'm watching any video or like anything that's related to studies or whatever it is, I like to watch it the animated thing.
Ah,
Like on a
yeah.
story, some based
Yes,
or
why not?
something.
Why not?
Yeah.
Earlier,
Or else
the only way we had was writing, reading, and you should not be bad at writing and reading. You should be good at it. But it's
yeah.
great to turn things into an animation. It's great to turn it into videos. And I think
When it's
that's a medium of the future.
yeah, like when people just simply read or stuff. Like when I read stuff from like my textbook, I don't understand anything or like I get bored. And
Hmm.
I'd be like I go scrolling down on internet
Yeah.
like
You could see a video of the same thing on YouTube, and then you'd learn that concept much better. I think all teachers need to start making videos.
here my teachers like for science and stuff, people like they show videos
Yeah.
like for the
Yeah.
Newton's law and things.
It's so much easier to understand, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Great.
So, what role do you believe philosophy can play in nurturing critical thinking skills in children? And how can it be like seamlessly integrated into their education?
Well, everything I explained today will build critical thinking skills because now you have a framework. It's the Icha Kriya Jnana framework. Sorry about my throat.
Hey.
There's this Icha Kriya Jnana framework that I gave you. And then there's also the framework of you know what this is, right? This is about not knowing how. If you don't know how, it's fine. If you fail, it's fine. That's the framework. And the other framework is not to be selfish and always find purpose in things that you do with other people and not just by yourself. To build gratitude. These are the two frameworks. So that's a basic philosophy I want children to learn. If they're able to learn this, they'll be unstoppable. And then they can go and open up philosophy books and learn things in detail. And they'll either agree or disagree with them, depending on the results they've got in their life. But for somebody who has no life experience, to learn philosophy doesn't even make sense because they can't appreciate or they can't criticize. They will not have critical thinking unless they have purpose and unless they
Yeah.
have experimentation. Critical thinking comes when you have a way to judge right from wrong. And that doesn't come unless you have a purpose. That's the most important thing we have to know. And a purpose comes from other people, not from only ourselves. We can contribute to it, but then we need other people to get excited by it. And we need to develop and build gratitude. That's when we become good critical thinkers because we can easily tell right from wrong.
Yeah. I just realized that in the beginning of the podcast, I was so sleepy. I was literally yawning, and then I'm like,
Am I keeping you up? I think we should end soon.
no, like like it flew away. I
No
don't feel
way.
like sleeping more.
That's because
Yeah.
you're learning. That's because you're learning. That's great.
Yeah. So
But still,
how
I don't
my
want to keep you up, so let's finish soon, okay?
yeah, sure, good. It's fine. So, how might parents foster an environment at home that encourages open conversations about philosophical ideas with their children?
I think parents should do things with their kids. And then when they have purpose, it's really easy. You know, you don't need to motivate kids. Never. You never have to motivate kids. They're always full of energy. You just have to make sense to them and invite them onto exciting things and then encourage them to fail. That's what parents should do. Should celebrate, like Blakely. Yeah, now I remember her name. Sarah Blakely. Like Sarah Blakely's dad. What you should do is encourage a kid to fail and be surprised why you didn't fail at anything today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Failing has
when I make my school, this is what I'm going to ask the kids. Like, so what did you fail at today? Tell me.
failing has the most important thing,
Yeah.
most importance in the life.
Yeah, it's just a stepping stone to success. So the more
Yeah.
failures you have, the higher you're going to get because there are lots of steps to success.
I think I read this quote somewhere, like it said, like if you're failing, it means like you're trying to get success, or
Yeah,
you're to succeed.
that's right. You can only fail when you walk in the direction of success, then you fail.
Yeah.
The person who doesn't want to fail never gets success either. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes. So, can you share a personal experience where a child's exploration of a philosophical concept led to a meaningful insights or personal growth?
That led to personal growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I said, I've worked a lot with kids. Um, there were a lot of these girls who were complaining, and they were complaining that they're getting tortured by the boys outside and passing comments, stopping their way, doing all sorts of things. And I asked them, has it ever happened when there were 20 of you together? And I said, no. So that's your solution. Go together. And then they started, instead of leaving the school one by one, they started leaving together. And it just came down. Like Nobody could do anything to them after that because they were just standing together.
Yeah.
So they learned that. They said, we got to have each other's back. When we have each other's back, nobody can do anything to us. That's really what they learned. And then guess what? They started getting ambitious after that because they were saying, if we can do such a simple thing as just leave the school together and people are not bothering us. And this was a really bad, sleazy neighborhood because I used to teach in these public schools. And, you know, they used to be in poor neighborhoods where there's no safety for the girls. We said, if you can take care of our safety by just getting into the bus altogether, when they got into the bus altogether, then nobody would do anything to them. So that's really what happened. So they started going out together, they started doing things together, and they started being able to go out together. Some of them started making school uniforms. There was one girl who knew how to stitch. She taught all the other girls how to stitch, and they said, we're going to make school uniforms. And the first few uniforms they made were really bad. And I told them, that's very good that you failed. And I got them funding to fail. I told them it's okay to fail. I enabled them to fail. So don't worry about the money. You can mess up some of the uniforms. No problem until you learn. So how will you learn without making bad uniforms? I told them, do you know, to be a barber, you have to give people a bad haircut for the first 100 people. You have to give them a bad haircut. And only after that, you can be a good hairstylist. And they're like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. That every hairstylist has 100 people angry with them because they gave them bad haircut. And I said, it's totally okay because you cannot get good if you don't start bad. And then they started making uniforms. And even today, they're making uniforms. And those kids are older now, they're all adults. They have children of their own. But they've got prosperity because of this uniform company they started in Chennai. Isn't it awesome?
Yeah, it's so inspiring.
Yeah. And a lot of them went and studied further studies, and then some of them did their post graduation as well because they didn't have to worry about money and a place to live and safety and any of those things because they got money from the uniforms. Every kid needs uniform. They need a new uniform every year because they grow. So they started making it right there.
It's inspiring.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of
happened.
stuff.
Kids have done amazing things when I started working with them.
Yeah. I learned a lot of stuff in this episode.
Did you? Great. I'm happy.
The things are getting more interesting episode by episode. Yeah.
You're asking good questions. You're getting good answers.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you, Gurukul.
Okay. Are you out of questions?
Yeah, Gurukul.
Good. It's also very late for you. So get some rest. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you, Gurukul.
You're welcome.
Namaste.
Namaste.
आदर्शवादिभिः प्रबुद्धैः आनन्दचिन्तकैः सह सम्यक् विचारः समाप्तः। धर्मशिष्याः सततं प्रेरिताः भवन्तु. With that, we conclude another enlightening discussion on philosophical nuggets for young thinkers with Guru Pashupati ji. May everyone always be inspired to explore and question according to the principles of Dharma. And as we look forward, stay tuned for our upcoming episode, Practical Wisdom, Applying Ancient Teachings in Daily Life. In this insightful episode, we'll delve into practical aspects of ancient Indian wisdom and explore how they can be applied to navigate the challenges of everyday life. We also want to express our heartfelt gratitude to our listeners. Your support means the world to us. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel to stay updated with our latest episodes and to help us grow our community of young thinkers. Until next time, may the light of wisdom guide your path.